All right, shalom, 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 peace, shalom, welcome. It's your brother Amath. IQAhmath, first name IQ, it's all the same. It's DSTM, don't shoot the messenger. You know where we at, right? Episode number 300. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai. That's the Most High's name, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world has been ignorantly calling Jesus Christ for centuries now. I give all praise, honor, and glory. Haven't dropped a Manna Monday in a while. So Lord's will, with my schedule being a little bit more opened up now, I plan on trying to drop some more in the very near future. Do me a favor, family man, when you come on in, wipe your feet, click that like button, man. We need help on this algorithm. It's looking like YouTube is back shadow banning the channel again. They just not getting us letting us get out the starting gates, man. Every time we make a little bit of push and momentum, something goes down, man. They knock us down. A couple weeks ago, they had flagged the channel for a copyright issue. I was reading from a news article that had a commercial playing. They said I was playing some Beyonce song, so they flagged it. I mean, all kind of madness goes on, man. But anyway, man, Lord willing, uh, this video finds you well. Very important piece of the puzzle. If you've been tracking along with me and DSTM and MOTC, we've been always trying to show and prove based upon the prophecies and the judgments and the current events and the things that's happening, how this planned great reset, NWO, New World, you know the rest. You can't even say that because the bots is going to come on in and then they get to being nosy about keywords, right? So another piece of the puzzle has been revealed. Um, I want to make sure that everybody is understanding and seeing where this thing is going as we travel down this road of the last days. Okay. Let me open up with a scripture, and then I'm gonna start showing y'all some articles and play a video, a couple videos, man. Just trying to show you how the Bible is real, man. Regardless of what the naysayers say, the atheists, the OT onlys, and everybody else, man. Look, the words of the Most High is for sure true and right, right, and pure. We're gonna read that in a second. Hold on, let me share my screen correctly. Make sure everybody's hip. Uh, Also, man, do yourself, myself a favor. Do some works, brothers and sisters that's watching this video. Share with your family, your friends, your social media channels, whatever the case may be, so that the word can continually get out there. All right, let's look at Proverbs 30 first. Proverbs 30 and 5 says, "Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him." So at the end all be all, man, we see all the walls crashing in. All the signs are evident that we're entering into last day prophecies. We're seeing everything from major weather anomalies going on, businesses and economies crashing, world wars, plagues and pestilence, famines, everything that Yahushua and the prophets of old warned us and told us that was going to be happening is slowly but surely happening. Pieces of the puzzles are getting put in their place, and the picture is going to be clearer than ever as we continue on. So every word of the Most High is pure. So when we see and we're reading about these particular prophecies and we're seeing how these things are playing out, there should be no doubt that the word of the Lord is right and exact. Okay. Um, One of the things that I wanted to establish and share with brothers and sisters is in Second Ezra, and we read this all the time. So every time that I see more evidences of this coming to pass, I have to share it, right? I have to share it. So Second Ezra 15 and 16 says, "For the sword," Shalaki, I'm going to read verse 16 and 17. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So there's going to be uprisings and upheavals against governments. We've seen massive protests going on all throughout the world. We're seeing uproars and risings of the people from France to Germany from the UK to America, Africa, all over the world. There's protests going on. Especially of recent. There's a big protest going on over there in New Maldonia, out for the coast of France. We covered that this past Sabbath. So it's a continuum that's going on. We're seeing major assassinations going on with presidential hopefuls and interruptions of elections and mayors getting put to death and kidnapped and all kind of madness. We just seen yesterday the Iranian president had an emergency crash landing with his helicopter. There's a couple of theories we might put out regarding that, but I'm a hold on that just to see what's what, right? But there's a lot of things stirring up the pot right now. But the one thing that I want to focus in on here is verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. If you remember and you understand what was going on during the time of the pandemic, there was restrictions that was going on in regards to one's ability to travel, move around, your access to your business, to your funds, and all kind of stuff, right? In China, they were shutting down banks. They was putting out tanks so that people couldn't access their money, quarantining cities. They was having uh, certain days that you can go out for shopping and things of that nature. I want to share a little video with you. Um, and this is a video, man, and brother shared with us through WhatsApp. I'm starting the video a little later because the beginning of the video has his name and WhatsApp personal information. I don't want to expose that, but I do want to share his experience. This was a few years ago, but it's a reminder of where we're going because the articles that I'm going to pull up is going to only compound that the plague situation a few years ago, that was just a beta test. They just wanted to see, can they implement this moving forward without too much resistance from the people. So watch this. Let me see. Most our willingness of sharing. Let me see. Okay, so let's watch this.
There's a difference.
Now, he's explaining is he came from South Africa. He's going to Saudi Arabia. This is his app. This was a mandatory app that he had to have for travel based upon QR codes. And each QR code is documenting everywhere that he's been at. And it's going to tell you whether or not, look, down here it says this is where he's arrived from. If he came from abroad, if he came from another country, another color code is if he was infected, if he's been exposed, so forth and so on. So the QR code is tracking everything that involves his health and his locations.
Health conditions. Arrived from abroad. I was in blue when I came from South Africa. I had to quarantine. It tells me what to do quarantine for 7 days. Now I'm in the green zone. No record of infection. Okay. But that's not the top. The top is the dark green, saying immune, which means you have taken both doses of the vaccine. So now you have to show this. When you walk into the shop, you have to show this. They can even scan the QR code to see if it's true or not, if it's you or it's somebody else. So
did you hear that? His identity was locked into a QR code, right? That's one of the forms of the B system, and it's tracking. And it's all going to be logged in and locked into the technology that we've all grown accustomed to, grown addicted to. If you watch that Netflix documentary called oh man, what was the name of that one called? The Social Dilemma. And it shows, just watch that documentary. It shows you how they utilize, manipulate social media, so forth and so on, to create addictions and the kids and dependencies and the tracking and everything, right? They've created the system so that everybody's already willingly ready to delve into this. They're not going to have to force it. Many people going to fall in line because of the attachments to the crystal ball that's in our pockets and purses, because of the necessity of I need it. There was old email chain that used to go around saying, um, when I was working at my old job, and it was like, imagine if you treated your Bible like your phone, and you had to really think about it because people will, you forget your phone at home, you will run back, turn around, be late to work, be late to wherever you got to go to, whatever the case may be, you're going back to get that phone. But would you do the same for your Bible? Would you do the same for the word of the Lord? Or would you be like, oh damn, I forgot my Bible? Okay, no problem. And especially nowadays, because guess what, our people are now we don't have the hard copy, the hardcover books and the word of the Lord now. Oh, no problem, I got the app on my phone. I got a Bible app on my phone. I'm still good. You know what I'm saying? So the phone is already becoming and taking place of much of the things that we used to hold a little bit more dear, but now they've created a whole system to where people are becoming more accustomed to utilizing this system. So the seduction and the art of seduction is already in place. So he says the QR code tells them who they are. Let me play it back.
They can even scan the QR code to see if it's true or not, if it's you or it's somebody else. So they're already pushing for people to get up to the store clean. They're giving stores big money to give discounts to people for those who have the vaccine. I get emails at work, I get SMS every single day to book an appointment for the vaccine. They're talking about traveling rumors and airlines and that are going to start allowing only people with the vaccine to travel. So it's pushing, it's coming. But basically, I can't go anywhere without my phone now.
You hear that? You can't go anywhere at that time. Couldn't go anywhere without his phone now because everything was based upon these QR codes.
I can't go anywhere without internet connection because I won't be allowed to buy, I won't be allowed to sell, I won't be allowed to interact with people in any place of business or any shop or any, if I want to visit one of my friends in another compound or something, I can't go because they're going to ask for this app. And just the phone itself is not enough. I need to have an internet connection also because this needs to be connected to the internet.
So the phone has to be internet connected. You can't just have a phone that's off and deactivated and run around with the code. You have to have an active phone. You have to be connected either to a Wi-Fi signal, or you got to have your data enacted in order to buy, sell, or have any business involvements, right? Now, there's a reason why you see Jake's running around, sitting out here on the corners, offering you free phone plans and trying to give everybody, making sure everybody got a phone in their hand. I see homeless people with cell phones. So they're trying to get everybody at that time, and they're still building on it to get everybody linked into this one hive mind of technology known as the phones and apps.
And my location needs to be on. This
Location needs to be on, internet needs to be on, otherwise he's shut out.
some O's that got into trouble and they got arrested because they had a gathering at the one O's house where there were over 20 people. Nobody need to report.
So I'm going to stop that there, right? But there you see some of the beta testing that they enacted based upon the the plague, right? So that's a man designed to go into the city and not being able. But notice he also said he wasn't going to be able to buy or sell without his you know phone being on and all that other stuff, right? So I'm not going to get into the whole second. I mean, excuse me, Revelation 13, but I'm just going to cover a couple of the couple of these verses, 15, 16, right? So it says, Revelation 13, 15. It's like it's 16 and 17 is what I'm going to look at um, shortly. So it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, this may be controversial to some it might not be. Some will say that this is actual RFID uh, chip that's got to get inserted into your hand or, surgically implanted into your forehead. Um, we're under the understanding that it's not going to be necessary to forcibly do it. People are going to willingly comply and be complicit to go along with this system. So a forcible way is not going to be necessary. That's not the way of Satan. That's not the way of the devil. The devil is a deceiver. He's adverse to things of righteousness, right? So it's got to be more seductive. It's got to be a way that people are going to roll along with this program and not even understand what they're involving themselves in, and they're unraveling and they're unraveling as they go along. Now, don't get me wrong. Does that technology exist? Sure. They've been having that RFID since the 40s, right? And if anybody's wondering, I've been and we've been anti-vax since uh decades now. My kids, all that, they ain't getting poked, so don't worry about that, right? But there's a little bit more intricacies when it comes down to this system and how they're applying what we see as biometrics. You go to Amazon Fresh and certain stores now, you can insert your credit card or your debit card, scan the palm of your hand. That now is integrated into your card, which becomes a palm print or a hand print that is now scanned to your phone. And all you need to do is, when you check out, you scan your hand. The biometrics of your hand scan is linked to your card, and it automatically debits your card. Voila. They didn't have to jam nothing in your hand. So it's a little bit different, man. So the right hand, like I said, I don't want to get too astray from this, but I gotta cover a couple of precepts. The right hand, uh, let's look at this in Ezekiel 18:8. It says, "He that hath not given forth upon usury, neither have taken any increase, that have withdrawn his hand from iniquity." So when one pledges or one commits themselves in their strength, which is your right hand, it says that when you see not giving forth the usury, taking any increase, we know the usury is against the laws of the Bible when it comes down to interactions amongst Israelites. We're not to charge interest, right? So this is an example of a law that's being put forth. It says, withdrawn his hand from iniquity. So when one refuses to accept or to take on the ways of the system and complicity, that is withdrawing our hands from iniquity, because it's going to get to a point to where they're going to make it. Shalaki, let me see something real quick. Open up another one. They're gonna make it to where you know you're gonna be forcibly made to break the laws of the Most High, right? An example of that we'll look at is in First Maccabees. See, there's going to be a time where you're either going to be complicit with the system, or you're going to go along with breaking the laws of the Most High. You're going to be going along with compromising the laws and the commandments and the morals and the civil natures of our people. That's going to be compromised. And if you be complicit and you go along with it, now you've accepted the markings of the beast. Verse 41, First Maccabees 141. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. So if we're talking about a one world or a one order or a great reset, this was starting way back then. I mean, we can always go all the way back unto Nimrod, you know, if we really want to talk about putting on everybody under a unified banner, one banner, right? But starting with the so-called white man, he's the one who accelerated the program and has maintained a focus of wanting to do that ever since this time. All right, we're talking 167, BC that this is going on, right? Or a little after that. So, moreover, King Antiochus or Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. See, the heathen have no stipulations in regards to what they're willing to compromise and do. The nations will follow the so-called white man to the pit of hell. Our people, we hold to law, statute, and commandment that restrict us from following after the ways of the heathen, right? But look at verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented. What they do? They did not remove their hand from iniquity. They put their hands full forward. They pledged. They joined in. They became Hellenized. They joined in with the system. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. So we see when there was a push for a one world domination under one banner of people, that everybody is to conform to that way. That this is an example of the same ideology that America and the so-called white man is going to be pushing towards, this great reset, this NWO situation, and the whole nine, right? It's going to come with sin, iniquity, leaving off from your morals, your civil standards, your dietary standards, so forth and so on, in order to maintain and survive in this beast system. If you don't comply, if you don't pledge, if you don't put forth your hand and your mind towards supporting the system, death or ostracization is going to be your only options. Okay. So that's one example, right? So getting back to Ezekiel 18 and 8, it says, He that hath not forget Salaki, he that hath not given forth upon usury, neither hath taken any increase, that hath withdrawn his hand from iniquity, hath executed true judgment between man and man. He hath walked in my statutes and kept my judgments to deal truly. He is just. He shall surely live, saith Yahweh, the power. So when one refuses and you withdraw from iniquity and you don't involve yourself, what's that mean? You stay in the commandments. You stay dealing truly. You stay not being complicit with what's going on. And you're willingly withdrawing yourself from said evils, right? Deuteronomy 33 and 2. It says, and he said, the Most High Yahweh came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. So when we're looking at the right hand, we're talking about righteousness. We're talking about abstaining from iniquity, so forth and so on. That's what this beast system is going to impose on our people, is sin, iniquity, unrighteousness. And if you want to be part of the system, you're going to have to be complicit and ride along with it. If not, you'll be ostracized and put to death. Either way, if you accept it and you move along with it, you're going to be put to death by the Lord. So that's what it is. All right. Let me jump over here. Let's get back to Revelation 13. Let me get right to this point, right? Continuing on, it says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the name of his name. One second, y'all. Okay, so we see what happens when you don't take part in the beast system. The restrictions in regards to your ability to buy, sell, unless you have one of the three: the mark or the name or the number of his name, right? So just getting directly to the point, like I said, I'm not going to do a whole Revelation 13 breakdown on this, but I want to show these examples of how the groundwork is already being put forth out regarding this system. And we just got through seeing the brothers showing, if you will, a mark or an identifier that is going to allow you to travel, buy, sell, so forth and so on. Here's another example. Look at this.
Once again, cannot buy food. A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped.
I don't know if I can blow this up. If not, I'm going to just do it like this. So let's watch this.
Cell phone that is linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything. But now, apparently, it has been flagged for some reason. And I have to pass facial recognition identity verification, which is insane.
Okay, hold on. Lord willing, I'll be able to rewind this because I know it started off. Bottom line, this woman is in China. She cannot buy food because she doesn't have the facial recognition app or the QR codes to buy food. Now, if we're looking at it from a spiritual perspective, we see the mind, the forehead. Even as the scriptures tell us that we're to, bind the laws within in our foreheads. I believe that's in Deuteronomy, I want to say the 8th chapter. Let me make sure. Deuteronomy 8. And just like it. I thought that was it. Shoot. No, it's like it. Deuteronomy 6 and 8. Deuteronomy 6 and 8. And let's look at where we 4 down to 8. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Most High Yahweh is our power, is the one Yahweh. And thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou..." Dang it, slucky. "And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be frontlets between thy eyes." What is that? We're talking about the laws and the commandments, right? So that's what we're supposed to be bound in. That's what's supposed to be focused in on mentally. So in the spirit and looking at things literally within the law, that's what we're supposed to do. Now, technically, or through the bands and the witchcraft of technology, foreheads, we're looking at things like facial recognition, identity, right? So let me get back over here to this woman. So she can't buy or sell without this tech.
Because all I want to do is just spend my gift card balance on this debit card.
Look at the thing. Tell them to put your face in there, open your mouth, do all kind of stuff so they can identify her.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have to open my mouth. Oh my god. Terrifying. And of course, because it was my cousin who set this up for me, I did not pass her information. I guess it's a good thing that the Chinese app is not racist. But now I once again can't buy anything.
Let's try one more time from the beginning.
So the latest in this dystopian outrage that is now all of China apparently is I once again cannot buy food. A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped me get a cell phone that is linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything. But now,
A cell phone that's linked to a Chinese bank card.
apparently, it has been flagged for some reason. And I have to pass facial recognition identity verification, which is insane because all I want to do is just spend my gift card balance on this debit card.
So y'all seen that, right? Okay, so there we see one essence of being restricted to buy or sell. Look at this other one. It's in London.
Okay, so where are we? We're in Winchester. Yeah, and are you refusing cash? And what?
Look at this little demon, man. Just so proud to be part of the system. See, these are the ones who's received and going to take the money. They're going to be riding along with the beast and saying, yeah, I'm part of the system. Yeah, I'm the manager of the pub. She's smiling. She's so proud that she can reject this woman for bringing in cash. She thinks she's backed by the beast system, man. They're going to devour and kill her wicked butt too. Unbelievable. Refuse legal tender in a pub in Winchester. Look at this.
Okay, so where are we? We're in Winchester. Yeah, and are you refusing cash? And what's your name?
My name's Izzy, I'm the assistant manager.
Okay, so you're the assistant manager in the pub in Winchester, and you're adamant that you can't take a national currency.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all I've got.
Okay, I'm afraid I can't tell you anything today then, unfortunately.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Even though I can personally sue you for up to £9,000.
We wouldn't be allowed to operate. We don't accept cash.
You're not allowed to operate. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. You cannot refuse legal tender. You cannot refuse legal tender.
I'm really sorry, no one will be served today.
So there you have it. They're moving towards the digital currencies where you cannot, they won't be taking the paper fiat no more. They're starting over there in, in the UK. It's moving down to Australia. Some places here in the US are already cash only. I mean, not cash only. No cash allowed. That's moving towards the digital aspect of the beach system, right? So getting back over here where we were talking about not being able to travel where you want to. Look at this. Canadian municipality now requires a QR code. Oh, isn't that nice? Well, didn't we just get through seeing in the times of the vid? Brother couldn't move around unless he had his phone on. QR code scanned, verifying. See, and they starting in small little areas and then they start expanding. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. A Canadian town in the Gulf of St. Lawrence has become the first municipality in the country to officially, notice it says the first one. So that means that there's going to be more to add on. They could have said the only if that was just going to be it, right? No. It's the first one of many. First municipality in the country to officially require a QR code to enter and leave. Officials say that the requirement of a QR code to enter or leave the archipelago Illes de la Madeleine will only be for tourists, while residents will be required to show their driver's license to enter and leave. So if you're a visitor, you got to have the code. If you're already locked in and part of the, they're basically going to say you retroactively don't have to use it because you become a citizen, but they're going to switch it up just like they're doing in California and actually America. 2025, they're making everybody get real IDs, and your ability to travel is going to be affected because anything federally involved, airlines, domestic travel, you either have to have the real ID or you got to have your regular ID along with your birth certificate or I think a social security card or something. You got to have a couple of different other forms, alternative forms of ID along with your regular driver's license or ID if it's not a real ID. So they're gonna, they're extending a little grace, like, okay, well, if you're not gonna fully get in, we're just gonna make it a little bit more difficult for you to, move around and travel. So you want to travel, you want to buy ammunition, a firearm, so forth and so on, anything federally related, you're gonna have to carry a few more forms of ID in order to be acknowledged in this place. You dig what I'm saying? So continuing on, it says the decision to require a QR code and identification for the municipality's 12,000 plus residents came after the municipal government announced they would begin charging all visitors who come to Illes de la Madeleine $30, something which hasn't gone down well with the locals or their family members who visit them. So notice it says here, if people are traveling to this remote island where people are living, 12,000 people, you want to be a family member, QR code up to see your family. Plus, you got to pay. Of the many concerns one of the officials sought to address was ensuring that visitors had paid their fees before leaving, hence the introduction of a mandatory QR code to leave the island. If you don't pay, you can't get the QR code and won't be able to leave. This was initially intended for residents too, but following an outpour of criticism, officials backed down and say the residents only have to show their driver's license. See, they tried it. They got some pushback and they said, oh, okay, all right, calm down. But they're going to double back and make it an issue. There's going to have to be a reason why to scare everybody into, hey, you're going to need this. You can't go back home unless you got this. Similar to what they did with the plague, right? Let's look at this. Oh, look at this. Parts of Paris will be off limits without a QR code this summer. Imagine that. And Paris is where they're holding the Olympics, right? So because of the Olympics, they are locking down certain areas. You can't get in unless you got that code on there. The French capital, Paris, will be split into zones this summer, with anyone wanting to enter certain areas required to show a pass on their phone. Special measures will be in place throughout the city of increased security around the Olympic Games will start in July. Anyone wishing to enter certain zones, including residents, will have to apply for a special pass, game pass, on the platform run by police. See what it's enforced by? It mostly applies to people driving, but even pedestrians will need to show a QR code to enter in an area called the gray zone around the river scene in the center where the opening ceremony will take place. How about that? Now look at it. We've talked about this before too. 15-minute cities, how they will change the way we socialize. But look who's starting. This is the article from 2021. Here we are in 2024, and look what they've already implemented it. A new urban planning model will change the French capital and could provide a template for how to create stronger local communities and make residents happier. It's always for your own good. We're going to make sure that we take care of you. We're going to make sure you're secure. We're going to make sure everything's convenient for you. We're going to make sure that you are happy living in complete oppression. Your freedom to travel, freedom. No, don't worry about it. We're going to put everything. We're going to put all of y'all in the box and give you everything you need. That's the same type of things, man, they did with Jake. When they created the projects, why do you think it's called a project? A project is like an experiment. It's a working system that they're trying to figure out an end all be all. Maybe we should look at a real definition. Let me look and see. Let's see what we come up with. Let's see what Cambridge says. A project is a piece of planned work or an activity that is finished over a period of time and intended to achieve a particular purpose. Oh, so when they isolate us and put us into projects and implement drugs and implement poverty and implement gang violence and prostitution and so forth and so on. And guess what? Within them projects, they got the local liquor store. You can get up in there, fast food places is in walking distance and the whole nine. I mean, some projects got, uh, they got the community centers in there. They try to give you everything so you ain't got to leave. Only time you got to leave is in the ambulance when niggas get shot and you got to go to the hospital. Then we'll take you out. Otherwise, I know Jakes lived in projects, man. They say some Jakes would not have a necessity to leave. They'd be like, man, I never leave the projects. I don't go out. I got everything I need right here. That's how they deal with these certain situations, right? So this is what they're trying to establish. The same type of situation. A 15-minute city is basically going to putting everybody in projects. Slow Biden has already talked about, creating commercial properties and turning them into residential um, living cubes for people to live in, right? But they say it's for your own good. I mean, stronger local communities, residents, you're going to be happy. Remember, you're going to own nothing, have nothing, and be happy. You know what they say? For a long time, Celine Frioli says she refused to admit that Paris could be a stressful place. The 29-year-old waitress who grew up in the city's outskirts but now lives in a studio in the historic Central District was dazzled by its infinite opportunity, from Monday night jazz concerts to West African cuisine and capoeira classes. But Frioli began to recognize that living in a city of light has certain disadvantages, particularly its frenetic, nonstop energy. Paris is a city that is always on the move and says everyone all the time, everywhere. Think about that. When you're looking at a city like New York, Chicago, LA, right? Um, where are they, and just to keep it real, where are they focusing on putting in all of these, brothers and sisters that are our people, because they're shipping in everybody. So I don't want to just focus on the Northern Kingdom and the Hispanic tribes. They're getting them from West Africa. They're getting them from the Middle East, the so-called Middle East, with the Arabs. They're getting them from Ukraine. They get them from all over the place. China. They say China is really the biggest that's flooding over here. But they love to demonize our people as, oh, they're the Mexicans and the Ecuadorians and the Venezuelans. They're the ones coming over here. No. I showed y'all the video and showed you 60 Minutes CBS even showed Chinese is the biggest ones coming over here. But when you're flooded and overpopulated, this is what this woman's complaint was. Now, notice it said the city's always on the move. What do they call, New York, the city that never sleeps? What do they call, Vegas and all these other places, man, where it's constant activity, people all over the place, moving around. She basically is saying it's becoming too much. See, that conveyor belt of choice came crashing to a halt when look what it's always that's always involved. I'm not gonna say it, but But Frioli, the 2-month lockdown that began in the 17th of March, confining her to a 1-kilometer radius of her home, gave her a nuanced, enriching view of her neighborhood. I discovered it's possible to feel like you're in a small village in Paris, she says, to get to know your neighbors, to maintain good links with shopkeepers, to favor local craftsmen and shops over large supermarkets. So notice this right here was used as a test, and see what it did. Now she's saying she liked being confined within a 1-kilometer radius of her home. See, that's why people know. Remember back when we talked about it in Maccabees, said the heathen immediately said, we'll leave off our customs, man. We want in. And many of the Jews also consented, right? But look at this. I discovered it's possible to feel like you're in a small village in Paris. See, now she's in her imagination. I'm not really locked down. I'm just in a small village here. To get to know your neighbors, to maintain good links with shopkeepers, to favor local craftsmen and shops over large supermarkets. I even joined a citizens movement where people prepare food baskets for homeless people. I thought I would have a hard time living the lockdown, but I was perfectly at home in a quiet place. See? So, let's look at it from that perspective. Her right here, her whole issue is overcrowding, people all over the place, fast moving. She wanted to be in a smaller, more confined area, more community based. I guess she's saying is what how she saw it, right? So when we seeing the flooding in and overpopulating of these cities, this is to create the environment that people are going to want out. You see people massive exoduses leaving out of California, and it's not just because of migrants; it's because of all of the other madness that goes on here. But this is going on all over the place. People making exoduses, expats leaving the whole country, man, trying to get up out of here. Because what people is flooding it, flooding the place, right? Now, uh, we've talked about the smart cities and 15-minute cities. I'm not gonna read any more of this article for time's sake, but here we see, if y'all remember, let's go back over this one more time from the WEF, the World Economic Forum. This is the future of identity, the world ID, that is going to be all based upon technology on the phone, apps, etc. Right? This is what is going to be needed in order to identify, have access to, establish business and work, deal with your governmental issues, your health care, and your access into even cities. So, you see up here, healthcare for users to access insurance, treatment, to monitor health devices, wearables for care providers to demonstrate their qualifications. Notice it says here to monitor health devices or your wearables. You know, you get people that got diabetes, you got heart issues, you got all kind of stuff going on that people need technology and apps on their phones and their wearable technology. They've got from the smart watches, they got smart clothes now, they got smart tattoos. I've shown y'all that video before. I mean, and information on that as well. Smart tattoos that are all interlinked. You know what? Just in case y'all forgot, let me show real quick because that also could be shown and seen as part of the market. I've shown this before. Microsoft. See? Why do you think everybody's so enthralled with tattoos now? Why do you think the Most High told us that's against the laws? Right? See here? See that? Yeah. It says access by the skin or TV. You can access games, music, TV. So there you have it. As another example of, a marking, right? And how it's technology based. Uh, but all of these things, the wearables, everything's going to be intertwined and locked into this system, right? So look, if you want to travel, you want to work in a foreign country and do any humanitarian work, e-commerce, your ability to shop, to conduct business transactions and secure payments. You got an online business, whatever the case may be. If you're not locked into this, you ain't selling and buying nothing. Social platforms. This is why everybody's so enthralled with the social media hype and everybody's so locked into this world, the digitized world. That also is part of the metaverse. It's all right here, right? And everybody's addicted to it. You got so many followers, so many views, and so many so much traction that you got. You're making money off of your social media. If you're not ready to give all of that up, you will accept it, and you rolling with the program. E-government, see, file your taxes, collect benefits, to vote. See, that's how they're gonna get Jakes locked up. That's how they're gonna get Jakes on the run, because you ain't paying them taxes. Oh, you can't get your Social Security, your retirement benefits, or whatever the case may be, because you didn't roll with the program. That's how life's gonna get a lot harder. Telecommunications, for users to own and use devices, for service providers to monitor devices and data on the network. Last one I want to say is this one right here. Oh, well, actually, over here, look, bank accounts, carry out online financial transactions. You see now there's multiple stories all over the internet now where banks are refusing cash, banks are closing people's accounts if they don't roll with the certain standards of the banking ideals. If they don't agree with how you're running your business, what type of business you're into, they can shut it down. They're closing down coin shop owners, people selling precious metals. They're refusing their business now in certain areas. So they're locking all this stuff in, right? There's a reason why they're closing, shutting down all these small banks, is filing bankruptcy, and they're consolidating, getting bought out by bigger banks so that they can have it all in one particular place, that everything is going to flow through one system. Now, the last one over here, look, smart cities, to monitor devices and sensors transmitting data such as energy usage, air quality, traffic congestion. You feel me? So smart cities is based upon what? Oh, the QR codes. Your access to go in and out within said cities. You're going to have your ability to buy and sell with the local stores as part of the system, right? In these little 15-minute travel spots. And we'll look at that again, even more in depth in the future regarding these 15-minute cities and how they're interactive, with the future and where they're trying to take this thing down the path. But best believe the pieces of the puzzle are clear. And this is where they're trying to, put everybody in this space to be prepared for the changing of the future and how we live, right? And it's all prophetic. And this is why we got to make sure that we're staying in alignment with the laws and the commandments, understanding and knowing the times, and really kind of seeing what's happening, because it's all here. They're going to utilize this, the Olympics right now. We see, with the QR codes and the travel cities and everything else. They're going to see how well that works with massive amounts of people from all over the world, and they're complying with how the system is moving. So stay tuned on that, man. Just want to drop that on y'all, man. Make sure that you continue to support and share the video. But other than that, till the next time. All right, shalom.